And you just performed "LA Devotee." That was that was awesome.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Gee.
Hey, you guys play that song so much in the past, and I just got to say thank you. Because that is one of my favorites of all time, and especially on the last album.
Us too.
You know about hits one. We play the best.
I know. That's how we play the best.
That's how we roll. Speaking of performing, I wanted to ask you something. Yeah. You got the chance to step on Coachella's stage for the first time with Halsey.
That was...
How did that come about?
So, I was just a fan of hers, and I... tend to do live streams, and I'll play other people's songs. So I started covering one of her songs, and I think she saw it. Then it got back to me that she was a fan of Panic. Then I heard that she had been to like 14 shows or something. And then I went to her show and saw her perform live, which was an immaculate performance. I was so blown away by her stage presence.
Yeah.
I was like, she's a star already. Then I got to meet her. We talked for a little bit, and she told me a story how she had a special VIP wristband, and then she lost it. It got ripped off of her at the show, and then she found Zach somehow, and Zach replaced it and got her a new one. And I thought that was so sweet that we were able to help her out in that instance. Then she invited me to Coachella, so now we're even.
Oh my God!
Okay, wow.
No, that was unreal. The fact she asked me to do that. She said she wanted to do our song "I Write Sins Not Tragedies" because it meant so much to her.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. She's a beautiful person.
She is. Yeah. She's amazing. I love the way that you describe other artists. She's immaculate. And I remember you were talking the other night about The Weeknd. He's got this sexy voice, and you said you've never seen someone as handsome as Adam Levine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like we could basically ask, say any artist on Hits One, and he'd have something cool to say about them.
Throw them out.
I mean, Ed Sheeran. What do you got to say about Ed Sheeran?
Beautiful man.
Beautiful. What else do we got?
Chainsmokers.
Yeah, Chainsmokers.
Immense talents. Immense talents.
How about Max?
Max? That's the homie.
Yeah,
Max is the homie. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there's little. I guess I do have those little key words that I use. That's the homie. Yeah, sure and beautiful. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
No, you got to perform in your hometown too for the Stanley Cup Finals for in Las Vegas.
Oh man.
On the fountain, Bellagio, the fountain.
And it got us soaked.
Oh really?
Yeah, it malfunctioned. Well, it didn't malfunction. The wind malfunctioned. God malfunctioned on us. So we were on this barge performing, and right as soon as the first wave of water hits and goes up in the air, it's so tall. I remember. Right at that moment, seeing the flag on the boat go and shift the wind, and it just hearing the wave, time slowed down for a second, and I thought about the field trip I took in elementary school where I went down to the Bellagio, and we're sitting there, and they're like, every minute there's about 900,000 gallons of water, this whole thing, and I was just like, 900,000 gallons, oh God! And it was like, ah! It just came down on us. It looked like a mist, but it did not feel like a mist. We got soaked, and then we had to play the song 3 more times just to get it. That was so much fun, and we had to do it wet. It was great.
I don't understand when people, when it starts to rain at a show or there's water involved, how do you not get electrocuted?
I know. We,
You could have died, Brendon.
I know. No, they told us, they said we can't play real instruments, so nothing was really plugged in except for the wireless mics. Cool. And they're like, those mics short out, but you won't get electrocuted.
All right. Okay. Where's Ariel? Come on up, Ariel.
Hey, Ariel.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and go ask a question.
Hi.
Hi. What is your favorite memory off of making Pray for the Wicked?
Oh, man. I don't know. It was the way I wrote this album was very chilled. I don't like to work hard. I'm very lazy, so I like to work smart. So I basically just invite my friends over to my house, and we'll just hang out. We'll swim. We'll have some beers. We'll just chill by the pool. And then if we feel inspired, we'll jump in. I'll be like, hey, I have a beat, and you want to hear this? And then we'll kind of work that way. But I never like to overwork. So one time, my friend Sam Hollander came over, and my other friend Jake Sinclair, and I was in a different mindset, I'll say that, on some herbal refreshment. So I was watching all of these interdimensional videos like Carl Sagan, space-time, all this stuff, and I started spouting out all of this nonsense about quantum theory that I thought I knew, and I didn't realize that for 2 hours my buddy Sam Hollander was just taking notes, and then a week later he shows up, he's like, hey man, I got some lyrics for you, and that's what became King of the Clouds on the album. It was just crazy. Yeah, I was spouting verbal vomit, that's what I call it, verbal vomit.
And
Thanks,
you're going to perform for us again.
Yeah!
Yes.
Without vomiting.
Yes.
No puke this time.
You're going to do High Hopes. You want to tell us anything about it?
Oh, yeah. That song was actually the first one written for this album, not knowing it was going to be on the album. We did that song about 3 months before I left to go do Kinky Boots. So it was before Broadway, and when I got back, when I had that hook, it was written by our friend Ilse, and it just hit me, it hit home to me. It was just like, I relate to it so much. That's exactly how I felt. When I was a kid, I would make cardboard cutouts of guitars and put yarn around it and stand in front of the mirror. I was 7, 8 years old and just be like, I'm a rock star, you know what I mean? Just believing I'm that superstar.
Right.
Living in that reality. And then looking back on that now, romanticizing that memory and then being able to sit here and talk to you lovely people about something I created, that blows my mind. So it's really just a tack on of like, I can't believe I made it. I just got to keep my hopes all the way up. And that's really what it is.
All right, Panic at the Disco on the morning mashup.
Session.